Hello, Ramen Nation. Chris Cobain here, and I'm bringing you the final team builder of NPA Season 2's regular season, as we are finishing off the regular season this week with Week 13, our 12th game, as the Baltimore Blazekins, who sit at an impressive 10-1, take on the Huntsville Houndooms and coach CyberNightmare. So, a couple things before we get into it. As per usual, one, that's off center. Ignore it. I couldn't. The box on the sheet was disproportionate this week for some reason. It wasn't the same as the rest, so I couldn't get it to. So it's all. Leave me alone. Okay, I'm already OCD about it, so whatever. Just ignore that. But it's still there. You can see them all. So yeah. But more importantly, this week, thanks to a couple other things, I won't spoil anything, but thanks to a couple other things that I know have already happened in the final week of the regular season, we are actually guaranteed a playoff, not a playoff spot, we are obviously, but a bye week going into the playoffs. So the 10-team playoff thing is a little weird, but basically it boils down to, in the first week, actually the first three, the top three seeds, all get a bye week, and seeds 4 and 5 go at it in each conference. So I only need to be in the top three seeds to make to get a bye week. I already guaranteed it. I can no longer be worse than the 5th or the 4th seed, because there's already 2 people in the playoffs now that have 3 losses, and I can only have 2. So, what you're going to see this week is a little bit of craziness. Not a little bit of craziness, actually. 5 completely normal, nothing weird Pokemon, and 1 set that we have been saving all season for. And I've talked about it to people. I've mentioned the fire. It's coming this week. I'm so excited. We're going to sweep with it. I promise. So what you're going to see is 5 irrelevant Pokemon and 1 that matters, and we're going to sweep with that. Hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, so we are guaranteed a bye week now, which is great. This match means very, very little to me, honestly. If I do win, I do guarantee my number 1 seed, but because of the way the seeds are working out here, it really doesn't seem like it's going to matter what seed I make it to. With either 1, 2, or 3 seed is all going to feature a really tough opponent in all likelihood here. The 3 opponents were potential to face in week 1. Well, actually, are the first time we battle in the playoffs, actually anyone. So there's Luke, and there's Snow, and there's Vump, and then there's whoever the second place in the blue division is. And they're all very good battlers, so the seeding doesn't mean a ton to us right now. I'd like to win and get number 1 seed, obviously, but if that doesn't happen, I don't really care. So there's no pressure on this one, which is nice. So anyway, rambling a little bit, let me go ahead and jump into CyberNightmare's team first. And it doesn't get any easier in terms of teams. This is maybe the strongest offensive team we've seen so far, quite possibly. So let's start off with Weavile, who's actually potentially the strongest single Pokemon in my team in the entire game, which is actually crazy. A lot of my team, as you guys know, is weak to Ice, Garchomp, Virizion, Gligar, etc. And then a lot of my team's weak to Dark, Rotom, Deancey. Oh, not I said Deancey. Holy crap. Rotom, Jirachi, Celebi, Slowking, all those stuff, weak to Dark. So he's got a lot of coverage. He gets Low Kick for like X-Blot as well. Of course, hits my entire team hard with Knockoff outside of the Deancey. So it's a problem. It's a very big problem. It's really fast, way fast my entire team. Ice Punch, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, Fake Out, Low Kick, Knockoff, Night Slash, whatever. You know, name it. It's got it. Jumping into next week, we got Zygarde. Underrated Pokemon, really, but it's a really good one, and it's very scary. Obviously has access to Dragon Dance, so it's basically Garchomp with Dragon Dance, except not nearly as powerful or bulky, but whatever. Earthquake, Outrage, Dragon Claw, I think. It doesn't have claws, so I second guess myself there. Extreme Speed, that kind of stuff. It can learn Coil. It likes to have a subset, so that could be very annoying. Very strong Pokemon as well. Darmanitan, one of the strongest Pokemon in my opinion in UU. One of the strongest single hitting Pokemon anyway. It hits like a truck, obviously. It hits the entirety like a truck with Flare Blitz. It's Scarfed, it's Banded, it's Life Orb. That's basically it. It Flare Blitzes everything, and it moves on. U-turn. It gets Superpower, it gets Earthquake, it gets Rock Slide, which is the sheer force boost. So I've used this thing a ton. I know a lot about it. We have ways to handle it, but it's good. Regirock coming in next. Regirock, super bulky Pokemon. On both sides, typically more physically defensive. It gets Thunder Wave and Stealth Rocks. Obviously, it can run a Curse Set, Drain Punch, Stone Edge, Earthquake, that kind of stuff. I think it's Iron Head as well for Deancey potentially. So very strong, very, very annoying Pokemon there. If it's running maybe like a sub-rest, not a sub, a Curse Rest Talk set with like Stone Edge or Drain Punch for that matter, it could be very problematic for me. Next up, we got Hariyama, really good fighting type Pokemon, obviously. Really good Assault Vester, really good, it gets Sheer Force and Guts, both very phenomenal abilities. Thick Fat as well, but I don't really have anything outside of Slowking that can take advantage of that. It really hits him with that, or Gyarados, but both of them get super effective stab anyway, so. Fake Out, CC, Knockoff, that kind of stuff. Good Pokemon, could be a problem. Next up, we have Electivire, really large coverage. I think he's like an NU, I don't really know why. I feel like he could be higher, but he's really good. He can be physical or special. Obviously more physical, but does have access to Volt Switch. Base 95 speed, really good. Wild Charge and Thunder Punch, it gets all the elemental punches, fire and ice as well. It gets Cross Chop, it gets Earthquake. Volt Switch, as I said, so lots of coverage there. Obviously, anything with all those elemental punches can do a lot of work to my team, certainly. We just saw Mega Latios 2 weeks ago. We see Mega Latias this week. It's the bulkier variant of them, less offensive, more bulky. Does the same stuff as the other one, though just as a bulkier variant of it. Typically, anyway. It runs a D-Dance set. It runs a Calm Mind set. It gets Refresh and Roost. And Recover, actually. Zen Outrage, Earthquake on the physical side. Draco, obviously, Dragon Pulse, Psyshock, Thunderbolt, that kind of stuff on the special side. So, can be running a mix set like my, like the last one was that really kind of put a dent in my team. So, we have Empoleon next, another really good UU Pokemon. Sets up Stealth Rocks, can defog away rocks as well. Can roar out any potential setup sweepers. Or Whirlwind out, excuse me, whichever it gets one of them, I don't know. Should get both, but whatever. Scald spam is always a problem. Obviously, it gets Ice Beam, it gets Grass Knot, it gets Flash Cannon. It can't heal, which really hinders it a little bit, but it's a really good Pokemon either way. Next up, we have the non-Mega variant of Venusaur. Don't really expect this to come. It's not anywhere close to as good as Mega Venusaur, obviously. But it's still a potential nuisance. It can still be defensive. It's not even almost slightly, potentially, anywhere close to as bulky as Mega Venusaur, who I easily handled in week 3 or 4 or something like that. But it could still be bulky. I doubt that because of all my Psychic types, but whatever. It can be a Chlorophyll Sweeper, but he's got nothing except for that really works around the sun. But he does have Prankster Whimsicott with Sunny that can get Sunny Day. He does have Darm, which can spam Flare Blitz in the sun, so not out of the question. So, you know, Whimsicott, as I said. Now, apparently, I don't really watch his battles, but apparently I've been told that he really runs just the sub Leech set, where you just substitute and click Leech Seed and then spam substitute forever. It's not really a big deal to my team. I have Grass types, Virizion and Celebi, obviously, so I don't know if I expect it. If that's what he wants to run, that's totally fine. But other than that, it gets Taunt, it gets Encore, Prank. It's base 116, really fast, really underrated in terms of its speed, way faster than people give it credit for. I ran a max speed one, and before where I easily like two-shot like Cobalions and stuff, who switch in like, I'm faster, and then get, you know, bodied by a Pixie Plate Moonblast, easy. But it gets Moonblast and Giga, it gets Stun Spore as well. As I said, Sub-Leech, so that's a possible threat. And then another one of his very, very offensive Pokemon, Porygon Z, Specs. I had it last year, actually, in the NPA. It can be Specs, it can be Scarf, it can be Life Orb, it can be Double Dance with Nasty Plot and Agility. It can be one or the other. It can be Focus Sash to set up one of those. Adaptability Tri-Attack is not a joke. It hits very, very hard. Super, super awesome coverage with Thunderbolt and Ice Beam and Shadow Ball and Dark Pulse, and even gets Foul Play if it wants to mess with setup physical attackers, which it certainly could if it wanted to, excuse me. So like I said, really, really huge offensive core. Almost all of his Pokemon are very offensive, and most of them have an incredible range of coverage to work with that could really put a lot of pressure on my team. So it's a good team. it's a good team, so it's definitely a threat, and we have the 6th Pokemon I feel to combat it. So like I said before, we're going to be looking at every Pokemon here is obviously built to where I can win this battle. I'm taking this battle as seriously as I can. I'm just not super concerned with the result of it. So the first 5 Pokemon are going to be totally normal, and the last Pokemon is the heat that I want you guys to see for real. So we're starting off for the every week since week 1. We're starting off with the homie Garchomp here, of course. Not nicknamed, actually. Who cares? It's going to be Jolly, Ruffskin, and Focus Sash this week, which will really help it deal with things like the Weavile and specifically the Mega Lottie as well. Other than that, it outspeeds his entire team, so aside from Choice Scarf, it's like the Porygon or the Darm or something like that. So Earthquake, Stealth Rocks, because Stealth Rocks are super important for this match. Empoleon is not able to defog on Garchomp anyway, and it works. It hits, obviously, the Weavile and the Darm really hard and chips away at everything else, so that's very important. Earthquake and Dragon Claw is the only thing we need, and we also have the ability to have Swords Dance on a lot of things as well if we feel as though we need to. This thing is 40 HP, 252 attack, excuse me, sniffling a little bit, 4 special defense, and 212 speed, which is going to allow him to outspeed a 252 speed, neutral nature Mega Lottie, like a Adamant or a Monoset, and it also will outspeed Zygarde as well. So that's really what we're looking for there. And this guy can put a lot of work. His coverage, his stab's all I need. The only thing that can stop both of his stabs at the same time is Whimsicott, and I don't fear that at all. So, jumping into the second Pokemon this week, outside the Fire set, probably the most important one this week as how good it's going to be. It's going to be Jirachi here. Jolly, Serene Grace, obviously, and Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf allows it to obviously outspeed everything on his team, literally, aside from a D-Dance Mega Lottie and Speed Ties a max speed D-Danced Zygarde. So, Iron Head's for overall power, obviously hits everything hard. U-Turn is for the obvious utility. Healing Wish can be very, very important for a couple of Pokemon, as we'll get to in a minute. Including a Garchomp that still has a Sash intact, actually, which could be a really, actually large deal. And Heart Stamp, because it has the it doesn't have the accuracy issues. It can still do a lot of damage to the Venusaur and the Darmanitan and stuff. So mostly you're just probably going to see us spamming Iron Head, getting those flinches, hopefully getting that U-turn, getting some chip damage on some things with the U-turn potentially. Makes a really good lead because it's faster than this whole team. So there's that. Number 3 here, we've got Mega Diancie, another very important Pokemon this week. It is going to be running Timid, the EVs on Jirachi, I forgot to mention, are 228 speed, 252 attack, and 28 speed. I said it's speed, so it's Zygarde. I lied. I'm sorry. So I always forget that Zygarde's 95 now. I always think it's 100. And it's faster than everything except for +1 Lottie, excuse me. But he's 28 HP, 252 attack, 28 speed, which allows it to outspeed Zygarde at +1. Anyway, moving on. Timid Clear Body, Diancie obviously into the Magic Bounce, as I say every single week. Moonblast, Protect, Rock Polish, Earth Power. Pretty easy set here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Moonblast and Earth Power absolutely obliterate his entire team by itself without even trying. Moonblast hits everything. Weavile, Zygarde, the Regirock card, Hariyama, Lottie, Electivire, Porygon, and then obviously Earth Power is going to be for Darm, for Empoleon. Mostly also for the Venusaur somewhat. It's got Rock Polish because if I set up a single Rock Polish, I almost win. If Empoleon and Venusaur aren't there, or they're really damaged, about 50% I'd say on the Empoleon, a little less than that on Venusaur depending on his spread. We set up one Rock Polish and we just win the game. So we just gotta keep it at enough health to take like an Ice Shard from Weavile. Which isn't going to do a massive amount, but it will do something, so it's something to keep in mind. But if I can get up a Rock Polish late game, I almost win with this instantly, so that's obviously it's what it wants to excuse me, it's obviously what it wants to do. EV Spread, typical 2v2 special attack, 2v2 speed, 4 special defense, it's Speed Ties Mega Lottie, nothing crazy there. Next up, we have the boy Slowking here. We've got Relax, Regenerator, and the Cobra Berry, which apparently is what I run every single week. I don't know. I just need it. My team has that dart weakness a lot of the time. So, Cobra's 1 bajillion% for Weavile. That's literally it. Everything else, nothing else really is going to hit me with a Dark Attack outside of, like, knock off Hariyama, I guess, or Dark Porygon Z. So, other than that, it's 100% for Weavile. Scald, Slack Off, Thunderwave, Psyshock, obviously. Typical, nothing out of the ordinary here. It punishes everything. That doesn't OHKO it. Weavile, you know, Darm and Lottie and all that stuff, they get paralyzed. They don't want to take that. He spreads Scald Burns to things like Zygarde and Regirock and stuff like that, or the Electivire or anything to that effect. And obviously, Psyshock is for Venusaur, Psyshock is for Hariyama. Nothing crazy there, pretty obvious. Also is for Whimsicott somewhat, and then Slack Off because, you know, it's Slack Off. So, 252 HP, 252 defense, 4 special attack, just a full defensive set here. His team is very, very physically offensive. A lot of it is. Almost everything except for like the Porygon Z has potential, and when the Whimsicott has the potential to be a physically offensive set. That does, by the way, include Empoleon. Remember, it gets Defiance, so and pretty decent physical moveset. So, all right, jumping into the 5th one here, and the last one that is what I'm not excited about. We got Virizion coming in here. Now, typically Virizion would be the last Pokemon because it would be the last that I drafted, but the next Pokemon was drafted before Virizion, but is more important this week, and I had to save it for last. We've got Jolly, Justified, Yachi Berry. His team has an incredible amount of ice coverage. Weavile, Hariyama can Ice Punch, as can Electivire, and Empoleon can Ice Beam, so can Porygon Z. Everything can run Hidden Power Ice, of course, including the Venusaur and the Whimsicott if he wants to play like that. So the Yachi Berry is going to come into play here. We've got Close Combat, Swords Dance, X-Scissor, and Leaf Blade. Nothing out of the ordinary there. X-Scissor is a little weird, but it's on, obviously, for the Mega Lottie, obviously. So I can set up a Swords Dance on it, pop him in the face, moving on. Right, easy, Close Combat, and Leaf Blade just do a lot of damage to his entire team. Nothing crazy there. Swords Dance is for the power. And the point for him really is mostly going to be Weavile as well. If I could get Weavile to Ice Punch me, and then I live, obviously, and I'm just going to fire back a CC, get rid of that, could be a huge deal. Weavile's a very big threat to my team. So that would be really nice. His EV spread is, excuse me, I have to scroll down a little bit, 92 HP, 252 attack, and 164 speed, which, just like Garchomp, will allow to outspeed 252 speed, neutral nature, Mega Lottie, and also outspeed Zygarde as well, so he's got a lot of bulk in there as well. And now we get to it. Yes. So, we've been wanting to run this set all season. Me and Reiki both have been praying, please let the end of the season have a game that doesn't mean a ton to us so we can run this set. And we got it this week. He is the unsung MVP of the Baltimore Blazigans. Every time I run this boy, excuse me, he puts in a ton of work, and this is no different. He's about to put in a ton of work this week. It's the homie, it's the man, it's Get Over Here, the Drapion. Soak in this set for me, please. I love it. So we got Impish, which is going to raise his defense. Battle Armor stops crits. Black Sludge, Knockoff, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Acupressure. Yes, we are doing this. So, if you don't know, Acupressure is a move that quite simply just raises one of your stats at random by 2. All of them are available. That includes Evasion. Now, this move is not banned under Evasion Clause, and I have asked the head of the NPA if this move is okay to run. He said absolutely, because it's not under Evasion Clause, so this is 100% legal. Don't worry about it. But it can raise any stat. Attack, defense, special defense, speed, accuracy, evasion. All of it can be raised by +2. I can't wait to run this. Obviously, Knockoff, he has nothing on his team that you know, is immune to that, so it just hits everything. I really want to sweep with this. This set is so cool. I watched a showdown battle once of this thing absolutely sweeping. I got a little lucky. Acupressure raises defense twice in a row. And then you can't be crit because of the battle armor. You just rest everything off. Basically, now he does have Empoleon. That's the one thing. But if the Empoleon's not there, or it's weakened or whatever, or I get the +6 attack. So, this thing wins instantly if I can get defensive boost. That's it. The only thing on his team that even almost potentially threatens me once I've gotten one defense boost on either side is Zygarde. That's it. Because obviously he can still Earthquake, but if I get to like +4 defense, I just win. I'll just rest everything off, sleep talk them acupressure, sleep talk them knockoffs, moving on. It's all awesome. I love it. This is the fire. If he leads with if he has a weird looking team or something I feel like I can take advantage of, I will 100% lead with this and start setting up acupressures instantly. Count on it because it's happening. I will run this thing. It will do something. If it's the last thing I do on this planet, I will make this thing kill something. Okay? It's happening. Hopefully. We'll see. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this set so much. Anyway, that is going to be the end of the Team Builder, guys. Thank you guys for watching. As per usual, the team this week is pretty simple. Basically, I just want to sweep with Drapion. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary. Do chip work with Slowking, with Virizion. Finish things off potentially with Jirachi and stuff like that. Have Drapion put him some work. I don't think I'll get a sweep with him, but we're going to do our best with him anyway. Maybe I get lucky, and maybe he puts in a ton of work. We'll see what happens. We're going to try it, no matter what the case is here. So again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This was the last team builder of the regular season. The next one will come in 2 weeks when we are doing our first playoff match. So that should be pretty interesting because, of course, next week I will have a bye week, which will be nice. But I'm out for this week, guys. I will see you all in week 13, the final week of the regular season of the NPA, as we take on the Huntsville Houndooms and Coach CyberNightmare. I hope to see you guys there for that, alright? I'm out. See you guys in week 13. Peace. Ramen Nation.